So much fun and so artistic in the way they speak and express themselves. I'm inspired by the Wades. I urge anyone who has old zines, get them out there for all to see. Each one of us is a story, and these stories should not be forgotten. Let's keep reaching out to each other and remembering these times. Sometimes you meet people and a friendship is born. We found each other through the years of bands, similar interests, and online, but never met in person. So we decided to run into this podcast episode, and it is an understatement of what I enjoyed. We felt like we could be sitting in one another's living room, hanging out, any day in any town. The Wades are some of the most artistic people to come across my path, from drawing, painting, guitar ripping, graphics, screaming vocals, zine publisher, and noisemakers. They've been a part of some of the most iconic scenes and continue to enjoy life and being creative. Please continue to check out this episode and hear what they have to offer, and check out all of their projects, like With Patience, Orlock, IUIO, Funeral Recordings, and what they have to offer with Landau Creative. So listen to LRL Media present the Hardcore Record Podcast, Episode 13, The Wades. All right, well, my name is Brian. Most people just call me Elliot, but this is the Hardcore Record, Episode 13 with Wades. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
So if you just want to give
Thank you.
Yeah, quick introduction to yourselves real quick.
That's Allie.
I'm Allie Wade, and that's Chris.
I'm her husband.
Yep. All right, so yeah, we kind of just stumbled upon each other on Instagram for the most part.
Yeah, pretty rad.
Yeah. And I knew of some of your previous bands for in the years past, and then yeah, it was pretty neat that you decided to want to come and join.
How did you start the podcast?
So I got away from punk rock, hardcore, underground music for a long time, and I moved from Jersey to Massachusetts. And I realized I had no friends around, and they're all back in New Jersey. So I wanted to do something, just in general. It was like an idea for a year before I even decided to do this, and it was just to connect to people that have the same interests and same likes that I've always had, and just get in touch with everyone that has like a same creative mind. And like the older we get, I don't want to lose all this, because that's what it was. I had all these records, and I'm like, well, what's it all for?
Yeah.
So
it's like a sense of like a little community in each city or little town or whatever. Like it's
each record tells a story. Too.
Yeah, and each record tells a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll tell.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh. I'll just tell a little one today, because
nice.
They had a punk rock flea market down the road from us today, and
nice.
I wasn't sure, we couldn't get there yesterday, so I said let's go today. So we just ran out real quick. So there was one record vendor, and I found Rorschach's Protestant.
Ooh.
Whoa.
On vinyl, and
nice.
Like I turn around to the guy, and I'm like this. Complete smiles.
Yeah.
And we had like a really cool conversation, and then I texted like a couple friends. I'm like, send them a picture, and everyone was pretty excited. So
that's really cool. I haven't heard about that band in a while.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I found that record. So, but yeah,
that's great.
So I guess why don't we start? What I like to ask people is like, what got you started in punk rock, hardcore, especially more of like, like the screamo scene and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, using that as an entry point, which makes it probably easier to articulate, because there's so many like levels, you know what I mean? Like we were thinking about this earlier, like was my first Sex Pistols record like the entry point, or was it like the first, DIY record that somebody put out that I heard, first hardcore, like straight edge record, I don't know. Like it's hard to pinpoint, but like I know my story personally. I always just wanted to make like t-shirts and like album art and hang out with musicians. and I just fiddled around, and like I got in by accident, you know.
Yeah.
And like once I played in front of people, like I didn't want to stop playing, you know.
Yeah.
So
I lived in Northern Virginia the last half of my teenage years, and so we would always go up to DC for music, and there was like Positive Force going on in DC.
Oh yeah.
And I did like a lot of like marches with Fugazi, because Fugazi would always play for free and for good reason.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was like a lot of zines going on at that time. It's like 90, 91, I guess, about that time.
Yep.
And it was just rad. And I started my own zine once I moved to Richmond, and that's where I met Chris.
What zine was that?
His funeral.
Okay.
It was like I was kind of goth.
kind of,
Yeah.
Kind of goth back
kind of
then.
air quotes.
Yeah, and so I did like a zine for a long time. I did like about 50 issues or so. I've interviewed like Jarbo from the Swans and Justin Pearson from the Locusts.
Yeah.
But I also like interviewed like really cool people like a mortician.
Oh,
stuff-
nice. Yeah.
Just stuff.
Yeah.
But that was back in the day when everyone would network like through the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I would trade with like other people who made zines, and then also like music. So like there was a lot of like DIY music being put out, like when people used to put out their own records.
Yep.
It was cheaper back then. It was more accessible.
Yeah.
And we did that. Put out a couple records and stuff like that. It's just really cool. I networked with a lot of people through the mail with that zine, and it just got me involved in like the music scene too. I like when I went to college, I got myself a 4-track Tascam and started doing recording like that. And when I got up with Chris, like we came together.
Whatever you call that.
Yeah, we did a lot of recordings and stuff, and Chris was in like Who's Got Cable at the time.
Yeah.
And then we got together, and yeah.
Yeah. It's like a real convoluted
It's like a
story.
journey,
but, like,
right?
We knew each other for a while before
Yeah.
we became like both a couple and a musical partnership, right? Like
Yeah.
we knew immediately. She definitely was more of the like visual artist in the scene that made music and made the zine and that sort of thing. And I was more of the like, I wanted to be the visual artist, like I said, but I was just like the punk rock guy playing music. And
He's just being modest because he's an excellent artist. I mean, one of the ways that he like stalked me or whatever, and one of the ways he got me to go out on a date was that he did a painting of me.
Yeah.
And he took me to the painting and printmaking building at VCU.
Oh,
He's a
nice.
phenomenal artist. We have paintings in our house.
Oh,
He's
that's
just
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
we
he did
we
the
are
cover.
definitely each other's biggest fans.
Yes,
Like,
obviously.
you could tell us to get a room. We already have one. It's like,
Yeah.
We have a couple rooms.
yeah, we have a whole apartment.
It's similar with my wife and I.
Yes. That's
All right,
awesome.
so we're kindred spirits.
We
Yeah.
promote each other to do creative
Right.
There you
things.
go.
That's her painting in the back.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
And it's
That's
like,
awesome.
It's like of a woman holding a knife. And
Nice.
basically the whole thing, the meaning behind it was like, for like, basically, don't tell me to do another thing in this kitchen ever again.
Right.
Yeah, and she has like a nasty look. Yeah, so my house is
Don't
full
tell
of
me what to do.
full of her paintings.
That's
everywhere.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
then,
we-
yeah, you know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were always trying to like honor each other's creative abilities, and
Yeah.
when we're our biggest superpower is when we were doing the same thing together, like
Mm-hmm.
the bands and stuff that we've done together. But like when she's made music in the past, I've helped in some way make some art for it or something, and
Mm-hmm.
when I've made music or make music or whatever in the past, present, future, she does a lot of photography and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of art for that, and so we're always involved in each other's stuff, even if we're not like members of the same thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But that,
But we do love making music together.
yeah, like our two current musical projects together are probably like our biggest focus, like where we're putting the most creative energy, because we're actually getting shows, and that's the goal. You know, play shows.
Yep.
Putting stuff out is fun too. but both Orlock and IUIO are like the things that she and I do. IUIO being the duo, and Orlock being the 4-piece,
Resurrected
band. Yeah,
yeah,
which is a whole other,
yeah.
I guess, a whole other thread, right? But yeah, we're like the power couple,
Nice.
we just want to do all of our shit together.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to like curse or whatever. But,
Yeah, you're totally fine.
well, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Go. I'm from New Jersey, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Right on.
And-
Just making sure.
Yeah.
We're getting older too, and we realize like how precious time is.
Yeah, that's the
key.
message, right? Like there's
Yep.
two overarching messages to like our, like you always want to make stuff, right? But like we're over the hump. The hourglass is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that, and then the world fucking, I don't know if anybody's noticed.
The world needs
sucks.
more punk rock.
The world sucks, and like I'm here to tell you, I'm not trying to ignore it, but I'm definitely trying to like power through it by like putting as much positivity in the world as I can.
We all are. And
Yeah, word.
I go to shows that like are current with a lot of current people, and there is not enough talk about it. My wife actually puts on local how to like understanding fascism workshops.
Yeah,
That's great.
In this last time she got a huge response, and she might even start doing it for companies too. Like
That's great.
so we're just trying to do that. I even tried to ask some of the local promoters if I could sell books on like fascism, like from PM Press. You get all that stuff, but they just don't understand it. And I think we've had such a lull in life without it for so long that people just really can't comprehend what's going on. You have like the 80s, the late 80s, maybe some of the early 90s where, you had all that, the Nazi shit in the scene. But I really started going to shows in 95, even though it was like 5 years prior. I was kind of like, I was getting into it. But I never encountered it in the scene anywhere I went.
Yeah.
But I knew about it.
yeah.
But yeah,
We're so naive.
That was kind of dying. It felt like it was dying
I was
out.
gonna say. We were so naive, like in the '90s.
Yes.
To think that, like, I mean, there was so much progress. Don't get me wrong, but we're so naive to think that we were like over a lot. Like when Nazis started to like really disappear from shows, like to your point, like in the late '80s and the early '90s in Virginia, particularly, I grew up in the near the Virginia Beach area. I'll just say, Virginia Beach was like notorious. There were a lot of that. There was just a lot of that shit, and they would always come around to shows, but it just kept like dying off. And it was like by the '90s,
it felt like
we beat those people, but they just went underground and started wearing khaki pants and shit. Like it's fucked. It's so. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I think the key
raging.
is to just keep acknowledging it and keep talking about it where you need to talk about it. Like we had a local politician that we found a picture wearing like a Nazi SS symbol, and I was at a show and I saw some like a bunch of skinheads, and I was like, hey, we have this going on, and we just had a good conversation about like what's going on locally.
Yeah.
And that was it. The conversation really didn't go anywhere after that, but it was nice to be able to have that conversation.
Word.
Absolutely.
And have them be interested. So
yeah. I mean, I think my point is like it's hard to talk about like this is my art, when there's so much going on, but like we can't stop again. It can't be beaten by it, right?
No. Yep. We definitely can't, and I have plans with the podcast. I'm still making future plans with all this and everything else I'm doing.
Yep.
And yeah, you got to keep going, and you got to just keep spreading your positiveness.
Yep.
And more people that you bring in, the better.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great that you're doing this.
Oh,
hell yeah.
So if you don't mind, if you could just. How about we go into like a little story of your first band there with well, I think from what I know, your first band, but Who's Got Cable?
Oh, okay, sure. It's definitely not my first band.
Yeah.
But like the first band that probably well, certainly the first
Got on
band
your
in
radar.
the timeline that's on
Yeah.
your radar,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was. I started out playing bass in a band called As It Stands that was straight like hardcore, metallic hardcore, in like the late '80s, early '90s, and because I was a metal kid, right? Like I was a full on metal kid, and then like some dude from actual Virginia Beach moved into my neighborhood with like suicidal tendencies and Dead Kennedy stickers on his skateboard, and I had just started skateboarding, and so like that's how I kind of got into punk rock. But before I get too in the weeds about that, I started, like I said, like I wanted to just make art for bands, but some dude invited me to play bass in his band, and I started playing bass, and one thing led to another, and I found myself in this hardcore band, and I had to go to school. You know, high school had finished, and in spite of being a high school kid, like we had played some great shows in Virginia Beach and DC and stuff like that, and done a bunch of stuff. But I was going off to school. But then at the last second, these dudes invited me to sing for their band, which I had never considered. But they were just like, "We need a singer," and that was this band called Groove, and it was a sort of like very quicksand kind of band. And that band was the bridge. Like I moved off to go to school and stayed in that band, and like that was in Richmond, Virginia, where I went to college, where I met Allie. That was a whole new scene. So
Yeah.
I met a bunch of people there, and our bands like Groove and this other band Hagal played a bunch of shows together, did some touring, little light touring together, and one thing led to another, and we formed a band, like almost like a super group between those two bands. That was Hose Got Cable. So that was like late '92, I want to say, and that was just like my main focus for a few years, until it just like one day fizzled out. But we toured as much as we could. We put out as much stuff as we could. During that time, she and I met, and we were making art and making music together. That became, that was the beginning of that journey. And as soon as Hose Got Cable ended, she and I started Orlock. So that's kind of the timeline. So it wasn't my first band, but it was definitely like the first band that like did a bunch of stuff. I got my feet wet, so to speak, like playing shows like, hardcore matinees at Safari Club and As It Stands, and like playing, Twisters matinees and Groove with, we played shows with like a Veil and Four Walls Falling and a bunch of cool stuff. But Hose was the band that would like play a bunch in town, tour a bunch, play up and down the East Coast, play with all sorts of bands, which was the beauty of being in a band that nobody can, to this day, like pinpoint like what the fuck we were trying to make, like genre wise. Yeah. Like Hose could play with a Veil, and then the next night play with Keepone or Slang Louse, and or some other like heavy band. Like we could play with whoever the fuck we wanted to, which was fun. But that band was a blast until it stopped being a blast for everybody, and then we stopped.
Hose was my favorite band in Richmond.
Again, she's like my biggest fan.
No, I know, but come on. I lived in Northern Virginia. I had the 930 Club. I went to see Neubauten. I saw Alien Sex Fiend. I saw all these bands. I saw Fugazi, and Tsunami, and all these bands. I've seen a lot of bands in my youth, and I moved to Richmond. Like, there was a Veil, and there's some really great Guar and stuff like that, and they're awesome. But like Hose, like always, like hit me because it has this energy. It had an energy live that you couldn't really even capture on record. But their records were great. But like this energy live, like how the people that went to the shows were like, it was just like we were all like, I don't know, in tune or whatever, like. And like Chris, like sonically on guitar, even though he tells me he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
No, I mean,
like he sounded amazing. Like every time, like there was this time they let me go on like little mini tours with them. Mm-hmm. So we went out of town. I think it was South Carolina, and Hose got up to play.
Maybe.
Anyway, it was just this bar, and it was like kind of sparse.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as Hose started playing, like people were just like coming up to the windows outside like this, like
It does
peeking
have
in
that
It-
sense to it. It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's just like in awe. Like, what the f is this?
Very
Like
sweet.
it's like this wall of sound that was just so great. So I
Yeah.
always loved Hose.
Thank you.
If I may
I'll sign the
add,
check later.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit to that.
Yeah.
That's what it was. You listen to it and you're just in tune with it.
Yep.
You just are like, you're with it. You're with that music. I had it on a copied cassette tape from somewhere, and I don't even know where I got it
that's
from.
awesome.
Right, and then
Yeah.
for years I couldn't find what it was. I'm like, this is awesome, but I'd play it for other friends, and I had a friend who was like Cannibal Corpse metal,
Nice.
He was like, I don't know what this is, and I'm like, this is amazing,
Yeah, it
Nice.
is. It was amazing.
That's one of the coolest
Still
things
is.
I've ever heard anybody say
Yes.
about any musical thing that I've ever been a part of in my entire life is that
Yes.
you had it on
On
a cassette and didn't have the actual record.
Yep.
Yep.
That warms my fucking heart because
Yes.
like I don't know how many bands like I had, you know what I mean? Like I had cassettes. Like I grew up.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
poor kid, like, and I grew up on cassettes of
Yep.
that people would make of me and mixtapes and shit like that. So that's rad. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I
Take
had,
that one to the.
Oh, that's cool. No, go ahead.
I had my sister's older friend would pick me up when I was like 15, 16, 17. And he would just take me to all these hall shows up in Princeton and Rutgers.
Nice.
And I was seeing like Reversal of Man, Endeavor. And I had no idea what I was seeing and who I was until I looked back on it. And then I had all these 7-inches and stuff from that time.
Yeah.
And like, I believe my best guess is that he made me that tape.
Okay.
Before it got cable.
That's great.
Nice.
And then, like,
So
I even
great.
think for years I searched online, couldn't find much. Finally found something, and then I have a friend who does the Vinyl Nerd episodes with me.
Okay.
And then I met up with him, and then I was like, the picture got completed. And then I'm gonna add one more thing into this is that I was like, and he's like, oh, they're from Richmond, and I'm like, oh, really? I have another favorite band from Richmond. I feel like I should have lived in Richmond. And it just adds to that more mystique because it's like, hey, I go to someone, I'm like, hey, check this band out. They're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, they're from Richmond, Virginia. And they're like, who? Where? And then I'll meet up with people every once in a while from Richmond. And I'm like, they're like, how do you know of that band? Like, do you live around here? Like,
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but somebody was really confused that was from Richmond. And I'm like, so
Yeah.
like, she was like, how do you know all these bands?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. How do you not?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it just kind of works. Yeah.
Richmond is like this weird. Like everybody knows about scenes scenes, right? That's a thing, right?
Yeah, music
like,
scenes.
Yeah.
Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Austin, like LA, like the scenes, but like Richmond is almost sort of this like almost if you know sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know, just like a bunch of specialness that came out of Richmond that people like definitely identify as Richmond. You know, and yeah,
Everything
it's a great
had
place.
its own sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just was like a creative mecca in a way from an outside perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, it helped that the scene was adjacent to an art school, or at least
Yeah.
what was once a great art school and was,
Yeah.
becoming a big business school and whatever else it became, to this day. But like at the time, it was kind of the place where people would go to like, go to art school and then also be in bands, and that really helped. It really helped
Yeah.
to have a bunch of artists like making music,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll give you one more story about a hose got cable.
Nice.
So maybe about a year ago, I finally got the first 7-inch. I bought it off a guy on eBay, which I'm totally acceptable on a price of like $30 to $40 for like old 7-inches. It's kind of like roughly where most of them go. And so, anything like more than that, I'm like, all right, let's second guess it. But I bought it and he put a note in it and he said, "This one really hurts, man."
Aw.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's really sweet.
yeah. And I'm still like, one day I want to find, I'll get like another 7-inch of it and like mail it back to the guy. You know?
Oh,
Aw.
Yeah. But,
that would be awesome. But then you might get a different set of images on the strip inside on the like the lyric sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get the lyric sheet? You have the lyric sheet in yours?
Yes.
And it's got like the photo booth.
Yes.
So they're randomized. So there's like 5 or 6 different strips. So like you could get a different one.
I don't think anybody knows that.
They do now.
Now they do.
Now they will. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you were good, well, actually, though, I mean, like I kind of gave it away. If you go to the Hose Instagram, I did post at some point like all of the images.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if anybody has ever deduced that, like, oh, it's because they're randomized.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I don't know.
One more question for that.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
Oh man, it's such a dumb name. You know what I mean? Like
it's neat.
Well, no, I mean it's like, you know what I mean? Like to knowing that it doesn't like literally mean anything or means very, very little to nothing. Sort of. It was like, and there's also like a bunch of different stories, sort of part of the lore as to what, but none of them like really mean anything. It's all just sort of misheard. Gotcha. Misheard stuff, and yeah, it's just I don't know. It doesn't really mean much.
It just can't be.
It was presented. Yeah, it was presented to us as like, what if we just called ourselves that? And we all kind of like resonated with the fact that it didn't mean anything, like that it was just kind of random.
Yeah.
And I will say that like my input was to put the dots between hose and you know what I mean.
Yep.
Hose dot. That was like my whatever. Like, well, can we just do that so it's just even like what the fucker, you know what I mean? And so we did that, and then the sort of like all lowercase convention. Like, I just wanted to make it complicated.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So then after that, you guys, you joined up and ended up doing Orlock, right?
I mean, not directly. So like when Hose Got Cable ended, she and I had already been making music. Like we had this 4-track and we were making stuff and
putting out like cassettes with DIY recordings and stuff like that.
Yeah, like just making stuff, right? As you do. And so I guess I joined another band that had already been going in the scene called Nudibranch that we all loved. So it was like, it was a real opportunity for me. Like they were like a little bit younger dudes, but they were like, it's like really fresh, like very heavy, very Melvins, very Harvey Milk, very, and they needed a bass player. And that was where I started when I was As It Stands in high school, and I to this day love playing bass. It's like I just love it. Distortion bass and so I joined Nudibranch, and that was very short-lived because the singer left, moved away, whatever, and the band went on as a 3-piece where we all just kind of sang so that we could continue with a tour that had already been booked, and that band was called Gingwin, Gingwin. So it was really just the members of Nudibranch sans vocalist. His name was Flossie. And so Gingwin toured, and she and I are at the time still making stuff. We're plotting Orlock at this point because I had considered playing drums, just lots of blast beats, lots of just crusty shit, and having somebody play just guitar and having her sing because
just kind of spazzy.
I mean, if you've heard Orlock, you know that like she can just spaz out, and like so we did make some of that. Like the very first Orlock was while all of this that I was just discussing was going on. The very first Orlock was with our friend Metal Mike from this band Gordeval, and we just like recorded in the basement and just did some, it was like we were trying to do something, but it never.
Seeing what came up.
Yeah, like it hadn't fleshed out, but it was like still sort of like an embryo, and like so Gingwin did its thing, and then I get back from tour, and we like really want to do Orlock.
Was I doing Fear of Nine?
Yeah, you were
around that
playing
time?
in Fear of Nine with Marie, and
Yeah, I played with this amazing singer, Marie Bethel. She played the drums
and sang
and sang.
from a band called Damn Near Red, which was
Yeah,
like one of the
Damn Near Red was so good.
damn
Another
near
Richmond
one of the
band.
best Richmond
Nice.
bands.
Yeah,
I'll look them up. Yeah.
yeah.
Very, very
you
ahead of
definitely
their
have
time.
to. Yeah, and
Very
Marie
amazing.
Bethel's voice is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Very strong, you know.
So anyway, Gingwin gets back. Gingwin kind of just fizzles out because again, it had been new to Bronx, and we did the tour, whatever. So we start trying to do Orlock, and we basically just started playing with those guys from that band again, and just kind of rearranged, played musical chairs. And so a live, fully fleshed out Orlock was born in late '96, probably.
Yeah,
Right after we got married in late '96, I think probably early '97 is when we,
toured.
right around that time. We started playing with a drummer, and a bass player, and we recorded. Orlock put out
2
two
7
7-inches. 2 7-inches, and we were on a compilation for Food Not Bombs, and that was a CD. And we did the tour. It was very short, so it was like the whole band existed for like just maybe like 18 months, you know, as a concept, years prior, but as a fully fleshed out, like we have all these songs, enough songs to play a set and enough people to play in front of people. That thing was only for like maybe 18 months around '97, and we did a bunch in a short period of time, and then
we booked our own tour.
yeah, like as you do, right? We
Book your
we
fucking
had
life.
yeah, book your own fucking life, right? We had book your own fucking life, and we booked our own fucking tour, and we went. Basically, what we did in 1997 on accident was follow around the fucking Warped Tour, and it was disaster. It was we didn't mean to. We were just playing small places, even house shows and basements, which is what we were shooting for. But and that thing, like, you know what I mean? Like in one case we, I don't mean we literally played the same town the same time they were, but you know that was going around, and we were in one town we literally played while it was like the next town over, and it was like a ghost town, and we played with the sound guy,
but there were a lot of good like little shows, like
100%.
little basement shows and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah,
That I
that
just
early
loved.
Warped Tour it took everybody from every scene and sucked you all into it.
Yeah.
No matter what scene you were in, you were like, oh well, this is mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For better or worse, I'm not gonna like, you know, I'm not going to go into any of that. But for us, it was like there were really, really good shows that were small, like scenes that weren't affected by that. That just people, these small town scene shows, that really gave us hope. And then the next would be like a bar show, and be like nobody in the town.
Yeah.
And the reason I set that up is because by the time we got to, you know, we go from Virginia, we went around the country. By the time we got up to the Midwest, we were supposed to play a house show, and you know, we get there and they're like, the dude had been kicked out of the house for doing house shows. The most ironic situation we could find ourselves in. And that band just was like, we can't do this, and we just drove home.
Wow.
Like we had shows in Milwaukee, Chicago, New York, all that was left.
We were gonna play
and everybody was just so bummed that we just went home. And so like we just started having kids, you know, and started went back to like making music on the 4-track and just, you know, putting out weird stuff. And then like at this point it was like, oh, there's an internet, right? And so we were early adopters of
the internet,
like uploading our music to the internet and sharing that way. Not all, but a lot of the contacts that she had made in the 90s through zines were all also early adopters of the internet, and we're like sharing music to the same small group of people that we were sharing music with through the mail.
And then we just started making music with people. Like I made
collaborations and stuff.
Like, so I made there was an 8-inch made with this gentleman, Jacopo.
From Italy.
And that was all through like trading zines and music in the mail, you know.
And again, this like weird.
Once
like,
the internet came around, we made those connections with the same people.
It just became, faster.
Yeah, it just became faster. It was awesome.
So,
And the one thing about the Orlock tour that I really loved was this place called the Little House.
Yes.
I don't know if
Has anybody ever talked to you from like
about the Little House?
90s or whatever about the Little House?
No.
Okay, so there was this like a house that a lot of punk bands on tour, like, you know, smaller punk bands on tour would stop at and play. And it was these two trailers, and it was a family, and the family liked to host, and, you know, you could stay with them or whatever. It was so cool. So we stayed with them. They fed us. It was just like so awesome. And in the trailer next door, we played, and like all these kids come out. And it's just so super inspiring because it was
in the deep South.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Where Mississippi,
Mississippi. I guess
wow.
like
yeah.
Gulfport, Gulf Breeze or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Is it Biloxi?
Biloxi.
Right?
We called it Biloxi, but it was technically
the
some
town
other little
over
town
or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just really cool because it was a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, after tour, we're like, you know, we can do that. We can start a family and have shows at our house, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of weirdos. I mean, honestly, like there were all these signs along that tour too. It was just like, hey, it's time for you guys to have start making babies, you know, and like all these like good vibes when we would like play places where people had kids and stuff, and we're like, yeah, it is time, and it's like,
yeah, we could still do music.
Yeah, and we did,
and that was
that was like this period probably from from 98. Our first child was born in 98.
Mm-hmm.
You know, through the 2000s, like as long as it takes to raise 3 kids that were born successively starting in 1998, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fast forward to now, 2000, whatever the fuck it is, and all of our kids are adults. They're all thriving. They're all very creative beautiful adults that live in this wonderful neighborhood in Chicago. And like, it's just rad. We're all like making stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like we made people that make stuff, and
we made people
we've
that
gone
care
back to
about
making it
each
more.
other and people, and
yeah, it's rad.
They're good people. We made good people.
And you especially fought that mold where it was like, okay, you get married and have kids, and then that's it, you know.
Yeah.
Up.
I mean, that works for some people probably, right? I don't know.
Yeah. But
if it's in your heart, like if it's got to come out, like, you know, you find ways to adapt. Like I said, we would like make quiet music late at night when we had young kids, you know, like you adapt. Like, I don't know. We did a bunch of different things. There were times where we did an Orlock like reunion show in that period where some family members watched our kids a couple of nights while we went and rehearsed with some people that that became the new rhythm section for a minute, and we were able to like do that, and we did a bunch of music. But I mean, our focus was obviously raising our kids, you know what I mean? But we just wanted to keep making shit, right? And now that they're adults and they've got their own lives, that we have more time to make more stuff, and we're just, as I was saying earlier, just trying to stay busy for several reasons. So
I get it. My oldest will come down on Saturday and Sunday morning, sit at the table and draw.
That's great. Yeah, we had drawing. We have we meet. Yes,
our kids drew on the walls. We were just like.
Yeah,
really?
We didn't care.
No. Just hope it looks cool, you know?
Yeah. No, it's exactly how my wife and I are.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it truly was an aesthetic thing. Like, our kids, even when they were little, were making cool shit. So we're just like, all right, draw on the wall.
Yeah. Here's washable markers. That's it. That's all we had in the house. Sure. You know?
Another thing that we did was we let them play video games at all times. We let them be themselves. We let them be authentic. Yep. We supported them in whatever they wanted to do, even if it was something that we didn't like. So, like, our oldest, when he was, like, 14 or whatever, he's like, oh, I want to do football. And we're like, you know what I mean? We're just like, what, you're going to be neurotypical? You know what I mean? But
it was interesting.
We weren't against it. You know what I mean? Like, other parents are against you playing music. You know what I mean? Like, but
it only took a couple of hits from some much bigger children before
just
they
like
realized
some bullies
that wasn't
and
for
like
them, so.
You know, they were in competition with like you know, the kid that was the son of the football team coach or whatever, you know, and
Yeah.
there's some bullshit there.
Yeah.
They just realized at
They
the
gotta
time.
forge their own path.
Yeah, they forged their own path.
Team sports is not for everybody. If you're like an intellectual and you're kind of weird and you want to make art, you know, it doesn't always work for everybody.
Yeah.
No, didn't work for me. I
same.
grew up playing sports, and the kids were like one of them tried soccer, and then they were like, "No, I don't want to do it." I'm like, "That's fine," because my body is destroyed from sports, skateboarding, and everything.
Skateboarding.
Don't get me started on my knees.
Oh my gosh, my hip, my back,
So pro tip, if you were a skateboarder for a long time like I was, and you skated ramps and stuff, and you know, you fall and you slide on your knees are probably fucked.
Yeah.
And if you play music now as an old man like I do, and you skateboarded when you were a kid, I have a tip. And they're like $1 at $1.25, I guess, at Dollar General or Dollar Tree. Or those like gardening pads. Like I just put it in my guitar case, and like when I set my pedal board up,
you can just lean on it.
Use the gardening pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a mechanic at work. I have a knee pad.
Oh yeah.
I have a whole pad.
That's
when
cool.
I have the knee down. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's just easy, quick thing.
Yeah. But I'll go back
really
to what
cool.
you were saying too about like raising kids real quick.
We
raise them the same way. We let them grow how they need to grow.
Yep.
And when they're ready to venture out and do things, then they will. And you learn that the hard way, because you're like, oh my gosh, my kid gonna have any friends? Like, what's going on? And
right.
like they're now getting into it. The youngest has got into a D&D club at school.
Word.
Nice. That's awesome.
Didn't know what to do. Looked it up online, and then made her character and took off. And I was like, we couldn't be more happy. You know.
That's great.
That's so cool.
Yeah. They just, it's pretty neat watching them be able to just finally have.
And they
confidence.
find their things at different stages of life.
Yeah.
You know, like our oldest found their thing like when they were really young, and they still kind of do it, and they built on it. We won't go into it because they're very private, but like as an adult, but and then another one of our kids, same, like was like making videos and stuff, and doing a bunch of like YouTube type stuff. Our middle kid like tried a couple different things, but then found like, I don't know how private we are, but found cosmetology and like as a way to express himself, and like just is so like took to it, you know what I mean? And we're so proud. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're just proud. We're while we're each other's biggest fans, obviously.
We're very proud of our
fans too.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to sit here and like talk about ourselves without like traipsing off into that. So sorry.
That's all right. I get what you're saying. Before I was going to do this podcast, I was telling my wife about it, and then I was showing her all the different projects, or having her listen to all the different projects. And then when she heard you scream on Orlock, she was like, "That's it. I'm taking singing lessons. I want to learn how to do it."
That's cool.
So you inspired her to like want to do it, because she does public speaking and stuff like that too, and she just wants to like be able to generate her voice.
Yeah, I can't do public speaking, so if she has any advice for that, maybe we can just like collaborate there.
Sounds good. Yeah.
That's really nice of you to say. Tell her thank you, and I think she's probably amazing because you are.
Thanks. Yeah, cool. So then did you take a hiatus between like, or you said you've always kind of done Orlock, but then how did With Patience come about?
Okay, so With Patience was when we first moved to Chicago right after the pandemic. I had just hoped to start, making some connections with some musicians, like it had been a minute, and like I said, this was at a stage where moving to Chicago was kind of part of the big transition for us. Like we were, like semi-empty nester kind of situation, right? Like our kids, like for the most part moved out, but didn't move away. And we all sort of moved. We were living in Wisconsin, and then we moved here to Chicago, which is rad. And then everybody has their own place. And so one of my hopes was that like I could, start playing shows with, get together with some people and playing shows again, in any capacity whatsoever. I had a little bit more, like, her job at the time was really demanding. And so like, I definitely like had a little bit more free time, and, one night a week started playing with this dude, Lee Diamond, on drums. I met on Craigslist of all places. But he had a really thoughtful post that like pretty much like laid it all out. And I was just like, this dude is like, might as well be like somebody we know from Richmond or something. Like had so many similar interests, and so many like was clearly like in the same age range. And there were hints of like, I have a family and stuff too. Like it was all the right pieces, like a kindred spirit, you know what I mean?
Lee is such a good dude.
It seemed like it was going to be, and it was, right? So
Yes.
like immediately, he and I were like, well, we're a band. Let's start finding, whatever. We found Lance, our bass player. We started writing songs quickly and just playing as much as possible. We've been recording, we've been playing shows, and it's been fucking amazing. In the process, she got into a position where like she had some more free time. And it was definitely always like, we had been still making stuff at home. But she was like, I want to play in front of people again too. And I'm like, well, let's fucking do Orlock again. And I was like, I know that Lee is like the drummer with Patience. I know that he's like into metal because it definitely like had already started. We'd been talking about it on the way to band practice. It had been like, even though the early with Patience stuff at the time we were writing was sort of more moody, kind of, emo-y, post-hardcore.
We're coming out of the pandemic. So
we're coming out of the pandemic.
There's a lot of pent-up emotion there.
Yeah. It was the first sort of the early. I say early with Patience, so the band's only been around a couple years, but like we've written so many songs, and it's like changed so much, not changed, but evolved, right? The early stuff was really sort of moody, but Lee and I knew we both loved metal, and I'm just like, to Allie, I'm just like, I bet Lee would help us resurrect Orlock, and he did, and like, which is amazing because like, with that came, he's just like, well, he already records with Patience, right? Like he's the guy, or for the most part has recorded with Patience. And he's like, I'll record Orlock too, and we did those songs almost exactly a year ago. We recorded a handful of songs. I just played bass on them, and we did it all in his studio, and he recorded it and mixed it.
But we needed a bass player.
Yeah, we needed a bass player. And it took since a year ago when we did that up until about 2 months ago or less.
Yeah. And even though I just like singing, I picked up the bass. So we got.
Well, we had we played a show with Patience. So it was like we were opening for, and we're just like, well, who's going to play bass?
Yeah.
She learned like it was a short set, but it was a lot, like a lot of parts. And she learned it all, and played bass for a while,
and it's cool to play bass with
you. I mean,
in that way,
we were able to practice with our headphones on, it was like school for a while. Like she just fucking doubled down and like learned the shit. And so we were able to play that show and not miss a beat. But she like when she sings, she uses like effects and stuff, and she's very physical as a singer, like, and having to.
I could bring it more if I'm just singing and not playing the bass.
Yeah, like I mean, anybody that plays an instrument and sings knows that like it is very much like patting your head and rubbing your belly, and.
But to deliver like I like to think of myself. When I get those high notes, like I'm like an angel, like just like, like you know what I mean? Just like, like that kind of energy. Like I want it to hurt.
So it was very multitasky, I think, multitasky for her, and
good therapy too.
Yeah. But we found our bass player a couple months ago. And,
and he's amazing.
Dude just like showed up ready, and it was so awesome. His name is Matt, and.
Yeah, I've been seeing like your flyers posted, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just walk on down to the club, and see the show.
Aw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that'd be
Oh, we
rad.
would love that.
it's hard to find like
Yeah, we would love.
shows around here. It's like I got to drive an
Mm.
hour.
Is it?
Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
Really?
I would say like I mean, there's shows everywhere, honestly, but it's like for like what I really like, like to get to
Yeah.
like these really good screamo bands, I got to go up north of
Yeah.
Boston.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable because when we lived in Wisconsin, it was sort of like a 20 minutes from Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is, kind of big, but not like maybe Richmond big, would you say? Kind of
Yeah.
ish. Anyway, not all bands would come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have friends in bands that wouldn't even come through. So we would see a band every once in a while. But in Chicago,
Yeah, like just about everybody comes through.
yeah, everybody comes through. So
Yeah, it's funny how it works.
we're blessed in that way. Yeah.
Either a band will go to Boston or Providence.
Yeah.
Never, like maybe like 1% of the time they'll do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
No.
I mean, hopefully, like, maybe some young kids will start a scene elsewhere in that area and,
Oh, they're
Something-
yeah.
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 it could
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah. That's part of why I wanted to do this too. It's like I think
Yeah.
there's a show Friday, which some really cool female fronted bands that I just
Nice.
heard the other day. Or I just heard this afternoon. So hopefully I can connect with them and do something. And that's
Awesome.
the whole idea, just try to find those neat creative projects that
Yes.
are just, I feel like they're just
Yeah.
different,
Yes.
and
We
get
found
them-
that here in Chicago, there's a lot of great bands. But we found like a lot of the younger bands. There's a lot of like women playing in a lot of
Yes.
the younger bands.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Yes.
the shows that we've ended up playing with some of these younger bands are attended by like a really diverse crowd,
Yep.
and that's really encouraging. Like really,
It's really
fucking
great.
encouraging.
It's really great.
Because there are some nights, like there are shows at bars where it's just like a few dudes.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like that still goes on, right?
So, like, a lot of bands that played with Patience is a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And I'm their photographer. So,
Yeah.
like, I go to every show, and it's like, I need to represent.
Yeah.
I'm 53, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
You still bring it at any age, right?
Yeah.
Any age. And it was a struggle for me back then. As a front woman, it's just different. It's just different,
Yeah, I mean, women have a different experience. Clearly, I'm not.
Yeah, but I'm
clearly
really
not speaking for women, but being married to one for just shy of 30 years, I'm like, damn, you're getting treated this way at work and that way at wherever, and this situation
crazy.
and stuff, and
Yeah.
But it is really
Absolutely.
encouraging to see
Yeah.
more women playing music, and we're trying to put together some shows with our noise project IUIO, and just trying to make it, just have it be diverse and encourage a lot of women. Like, I've seen a lot of women bands, and I'm like, we got to play with them. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? Like, we just played with
we just played a killer show,
with Won't Stay Dead,
Won't Stay Dead from Chicago.
and they're great.
Yeah,
It is encouraging, but I do like to represent as an older female screamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it can be done.
Yeah.
That show was at the Pit Stop, by the way. Shout out
Yeah.
to Pit Stop, which is like we were just
just talking about the little house.
Yeah, our story about the little house
Yeah.
back in the day. Very similar thing. This is just like a punk house out in the suburbs that
Oh, nice.
has like a really it's a safe space.
Yeah.
It's a welcoming space, and you're guaranteed to have like a diverse lineup of bands.
and
Guaranteed
they're always
to see,
good.
like,
It's always a good show. It
Yeah.
always is.
yeah. So anyway, shout out to them.
Nice. Yeah. The noise project, like you said, with IUIO.
Yeah.
I found more of that recently too, in my older years here. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the one band that came up here from Philly. I'm just drawing a blank anyway. But then they had this other person she calls herself Pain Chain, and
Nice.
she'll just scream through pedal distortions, and then they'll do it like live as the one band was playing. The Hers Collective played.
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
She just joined in and just in the middle of the songs and played all together, and they just did it like it's like live collaboration, and it was
That's
in
cool.
a burger joint at like 11 p.m. after hours.
Nice. That's so
Awesome.
You
cool.
know, and that's and then that turned me on to like the more noise stuff.
Yes.
And I find it so interesting, and it's just another aspect of what I ended up liking, you know.
Nice.
But
Yeah, like that IUIO stuff has been continues to be a really good outlet, because we're like the more Orlock stuff we write, the more like technical, the more challenging. Like like as a just speaking for myself as a guitar player, I'm definitely like writing more technical parts. I spent decades just being cool with just punk rock, you know, like just what my approach was my approach, right? But like I've actually challenged myself to write some metal riffs and stuff, and like that's like my technical, like play it the same way every time outlet, right? And with Patience is that too. It's like a very probably even more so technical, like pop, like with Patience is essentially a pop band with like very metal and post-hardcore overtones, right? And so there's a lot of melody, and there's a lot of it's just those things scratch this itch that I didn't always have as much when I was younger, which is to like actually try to be good, right?
gotcha.
And but then there's still like I'm still very much like a chaos agent. Like I still very much like to fuck shit up, and I found that like she and I doing IUIO scratches that itch to where I'm like, okay, I can, you know, like I can like learn my instrument and play it well in these other couple of bands, but we can go fuck shit up, you know, as IUIO. And
IUIO is sort of like it's like a freedom.
Yeah, like in the truest sense of how, you know, Ian Mackay would tell you right now that punk rock represents the free space.
Yes.
It's the punkest thing in my life, right?
Yeah.
Is doing IUIO with her, because it's whatever we want.
Yeah.
And so like it's been just noise. It's been like
a little
noise with some stuff in the background going on. Like it's been riffs with beats and then noise, you know, and it continues to evolve, and for no other reason than because we just like to do it like everything else. Right. But it just scratches a different itch. And like, there's a lot of, you know, like the stuff that is out there, like on streaming and Bandcamp and stuff like that is, you know, there's a little bit of the like ambient sort of soundscapey stuff. And then there's some live stuff where like I refer to with the, like a little bit of a beat, you know, which is just a backing beat, because it's always the two of us. Yeah, it's just whatever we want. And I mean, we're doing this thing in December, and we're just going to open the show with some bands that we love. But like, we're going to do something kind of different for that too. And it's going to scratch another itch that is, you know what I mean? And then maybe it'll be different the next time. I don't know, whatever. But it's a lot of fun. And then we are going to be recording something. So Orlock just recorded with Jay Robbins, and with Patience just recorded with Jay Robbins in Lee's studio. And we've got something up our sleeve. IUIO is involved, and
Nice.
There's some other stuff, but it's anyway. But we're going to be doing. That's going to be interesting because we're sort of improv-y with a kind of like an outline of what we want to do, and then we go in and just
do
right. And so I don't know how we're going to record that in a studio, because I don't know it. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I'm not going to figure it out here on the podcast. We'll figure out when we do it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
A couple things I want to say. What you were saying about, like, all right. So yeah, you always have to have a forward progression, you know, and that's what I can see. That's kind of how I live my life. Like, you have to keep moving forward, keep doing something, you know, even no matter how long it takes, like, it's going to move forward. So I don't play any instruments. Never did. That's a whole childhood trauma story, but you know, it's fine now.
Okay.
But it's interesting to me to hear you, like, as a musician, say, like, where it's more technical now. So, and then your early stuff, like you said, you didn't really know what you were doing. But yet, at the same time, you still made something magical.
Well,
Especially with Host Got Cable. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Because it's intuitive. It's authentic.
yeah, I mean, I want
It's
to, like,
authentic expression.
Yeah.
can I
right?
expand upon
I'm
that?
sorry.
Like, no, totally. No, that's rad. Everybody's take on this is valid. What I mean is, like, I've tried to explain this over the years, and I guess maybe I didn't even know myself how to explain it, but, like, it was more just the fact that, like, I had so many interests, right? I mentioned being an artist first, right? I wanted to make art. By the time I started playing music in bands, after I'd gotten into it for a while, basically at the point of Hose Got Cable, the line was completely blurred. Okay, so Hose Got Cable was art to me, and, like,
makes sense. Yeah.
performance art, kind of. Like, if you Hose Got Cable, like, obviously a few people know about the band, and most of the time when they talk about it, it's like, oh, live they like, you know, broke shit or whatever, and, like, that's, like, because it was really just that, right? It was really just, like, kind of like taking the piss, you know what I mean? Like, okay. I wanted to, like, as just speaking for myself in that band, like, I wanted to write songs, but I wasn't really committed to, like, learning an instrument. I was just like, I can get the sounds out of this that I need to make the thing that I want to make right now. And I didn't really challenge myself to learn, like, how to play anything, right? Any, like, real chords or anything, right? And I've probably in a couple of situations over the years, when asked about this, like, have glossed that over a little bit. But, like, the reality is that I didn't know. I truly didn't know what I was doing, but I was okay with it for a long time. And then later in life, I guess I just started to get more interested in playing, just more interested in the instrument, all, like, the gear, like, all the technical aspects of it. It's just like, literally, like, I'm an old fucking man. Like, I have a hobby now, right? My hobby is, like, the guitar, and, like, you know what I mean? I'm no different than any dude, like, at Guitar Center that's like, my hobby is that. I've gotten, like, I watch the rig rundowns on YouTube, and I like to know the signal chain of my favorite guitar players and shit, and I like to know how to play, you know, the chords for the types of music that, you know, I'm trying to learn it now. Whereas when I was younger, I just was like, guitar is a means to an end to make art. I know enough.
That pure, authentic expression is what makes it.
And that's what I want to explain, is that, like, that's valid. I hear that shit all the time. I can tell when people don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it sounds rad. Yeah. And those are my favorite bands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite things to listen to, or, like, and that's why a lot of young bands that are, you know, you go see bands play and they're, like, right out of high school or something like that, and they might not be, like, technically proficient, but it's, like, way more interesting.
Yeah, you
than a lot of, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of life in their eyes.
Yeah, like,
you know, it isn't a bar scene where they're just going to get laid. You know what I mean? It's like, it's different.
So then we turn that into, like, how you were talking about it, and, like, into now, like, with Patience. So when I first heard With Patience, I think that's where I first found out about anything. Like, With Patience popped up on my feed, right? I'm like, this is awesome. Sending my buddy Rob. I'm like, dude, listen to this.
Thank you.
Like, this is great. And then I heard another release, and I'm like, this is different. And I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. And I think like you guys like released like not like 3 songs, like 3 different songs at a time or something like that. It was like a few.
Yeah,
different...
like a 2-song single, and then a little while later a 3-song EP,
yeah,
and then a little while later an album.
and then the teasing you kept doing about the album. I'm like, come on, just the album out? No, it's not out yet. I'm like, and it was killing me. And then I listened to your album, and the whole album blows me away. Like every song's so different. It's so creative. From hearing you speak now, I know obviously you're not the only one in the band, but I can look at it differently with all those added layers that you're talking about now. So now I'm going to go back and listen to it again and probably hear it in a different light.
Oh,
like
sure, that's cool.
I think it's one of the neatest creative projects I've heard.
Nice.
Thank you.
In a long time, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's really neat. It's really cool now.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I talked a lot about like things scratching certain itches, and like truly like that band situation presented itself at a time where like I was feeling nostalgic for Hose Got Cable. Like, up until that point, like when I picked up a guitar, that's what it sounded like, Hose Got Cable, because for the most part, either that or if I would drop D, it would sound like Orlock, right? That's like the difference. And but I didn't really progress past those 2 bands. Like we did all sorts of different instrumentation of recording at home. I'd play bass, we'd do keys, we'd do whatever. I didn't really like continue, like I said, trying to like get good on guitar. I just kept making stuff here and there. But like I think the timing of the With Patience thing was like there was all of this sort of energy behind Hose Got Cable in real life at the time, where I was, for one reason or another, I was like trying to like learn all the songs back and maybe even write some stuff like that, because I was like talking to some of those dudes, or one of those dudes at least at the time. And then because of the Instagram account, there was just like a renewed interest. And then with the fact that there was all of this, like, I mean, I don't know, name a band from the 90s that hasn't like done a reunion show. Yeah. So there were all these invitations last year, or not last year, the year before that, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The year before that. So with Patience, like for me as a guitar player, like was kind of born out of like kind of writing for Hose Got Cable, if that makes any sense. Like I was like, I
can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
okay.
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of it is because of my limited palette, right? Which I've spoken about, right? Like I sound like me when I play guitar, and so that's you know what I mean. Like, so like I write like a type of riff, and like a lot of them are the types of riffs that you hear in some of the Hose Got Cable songs where I wrote those riffs. And so for one reason or another, like I said, I mean, there was at least the thought that, without beating around the bush, that Hose Got Cable might play again, or at least there was some talk of doing something related to it. I can tell you that all of that is over and that's not happening.
Okay.
But like that energy of like a little bit of nostalgic 1990s, like spazzy, screamo, whatever it ended up getting called, goes into and certainly informs the riffage of With Patience. And it started to get really metallic, and you heard the progression, and it's like a lot of that was like I was really craving to play Orlock stuff again, like metal, which we've already talked about that, like how
and
that
I crave
came
singing,
about.
so I sang a song with Patience.
Yeah, so
and that was nice because that, cause I got to go up with you guys and sing every once in a while.
Yeah, it's rad. But like the way that With Patience is progressing might sound much different now that now that I'm getting like my metal groove on again with with Orlock. So
Yeah, art, the way you create, it's ever evolving. It's always just interesting
Yeah.
the way, it comes out.
Yeah.
And
I've never had any vocal lessons or anything like that.
no, no,
I had 2 guitar lessons.
No.
Yeah.
I had 2 guitar lessons when I was like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know shit. Like I had an acoustic guitar, and this like hippie with this weird star tattoo on her forearm came over. That's all, I don't know. That's all I remember about it. She came over and she's like, "What do you want to like? What like songs do you want to what do you want to learn?" And I was like, "Kiss." It's just like And then I think she taught me My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, and 2 guitar lessons later, I was done.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm that like limited palette guitar player, I guess, that I refer to. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I there's definitely a part of me that wishes I could pick up a guitar and like play some whip ass like solo and some whatever. But I'm not wired for like music theory. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm just not. Like I use the tool how it feels like it should be used. And that's fun for me. But like, I am taking it very seriously in this era of my life. And like technique wise, I'm like just having a blast, like learning shit that I never bothered to learn how to do before, I don't know if you can hear it in the playing, but like for me, it's just like I guess I describe this to her a lot, where a lot of the sounds of those bands from the 90s were a lot of like squeaks and skronks and like little whatevers, And a lot of that was so randomized because of just my approach. And I kind of leaned into it and was like, I just want to make it sound different every time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if to sort of simplify it, it's like now I like try to make that same weird ass sound every time in between those 2 chords, every time I play the song. So it's like playing the game Simon for me, like yellow, green, blue, red, yellow, green, blue, red, green,
Yeah.
Both with Patience and Orlock and IUIO are just like writing so much more now.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently, it's just like, oh gosh, when are we going to record all of this? And it's like Lee is doing, the drummer for both of these bands, and he puts a lot of energy into it. He has a family,
and we're all family people, and
but he puts a lot. Drumming is
first,
drumming is like a lot of physical work.
Yeah,
and he brings it for both bands. So
yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
We do like this mega band practice.
Yeah, we do mega band practice on Thursdays.
I don't know what the fuck other bands do, and like
That's
I don't know,
awesome. Yeah,
and I don't know what other bands our age do, but like Lee and I are in both bands, and so we just do these mega practices where we take breaks, but like it's like a little Venn diagram of bands.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours with Patience and 2 hours Orlock.
Nice.
It's crazy. Yeah.
All right. So and now you guys got explain the Landau creative.
Okay. Yeah, Landau. So we used to call everything Wades for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
It just right, like that's us, right?
Yep.
Like we're the Wade. Like our friends will be like, oh, the Wades,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like we've been the Wades like since we were married, right?
And the Wade Brigade.
Well, the family was the Wade,
Wade
Brigade,
Brigade.
but like she and I, the Wades, right?
Yeah.
And so we released music as Wades. We were just like consider ourselves Wades. Like let's brand it, if you will, to use that term, Wades. But like band wise, for one, if you go searching around the different platforms and stuff, you'll find other Wades, and strangely, it's like other couples.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty neat. Like people that are named Wade are predisposed to like making music with their spouses. And
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm here for
It's
it. But I don't want
in the Matrix.
I don't want to be lost in a sea of husband and wife duos named Wades, right? And so that's part of why IUIO was created as a name.
Mm-hmm.
But so the reason I say that is that again, Landau is just like sort of we considered Landau like the visual arm of our stuff, where Funeral was the Funeral Recordings Bandcamp page is like the audio, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to our Funeral recordings Bandcamp page. It's like I've archived the old Orlock stuff, and I've archived the old Hose Got Cable stuff, and we've put some other old stuff and some bunch of new stuff. And so that was Funeral Recordings, and then we wanted to just sort of call the visual aspect of things like something. So that was Landau.
It's sort of like the social media / visual.
Yeah, like
aspect to it.
It's like not like a company or anything, you know what I mean? Like, but just
and not
like
even a business,
like an entity.
Yeah,
right.
Just like an entity. Yeah.
And so, like
almost like a Instagram zine.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, it's
kind of.
So all your stuff exists under that like umbrella.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing something very similar.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Right on.
Yeah.
Like,
I
have a book, I have a podcast, my wife has
Right.
books, she's an artist, and
Word.
we're going to kind of brand the whole thing.
That's great.
As well,
Word.
Do you have a name for it?
Yeah, it'll just be like LRL Media, which is Listen, Read,
Nice.
Learn.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's great.
So that's an old logo I created years ago, and I was gonna do like charity shirts and stuff, and I still have all the shirts in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was that right as I was about to do it, my wife, who I broke up with a year and a half hiatus, contacted me, and then I just went out to go see her. It took me an hour and a half to go see her. She lived down near Philly, and then that was it. We met up, and she's like, "You want to get married and make babies?" So I just I quit my job and moved out, and 2 months later, that's it. And that was 20 years ago.
Oh,
Nice.
So then,
that's a great story.
So now I'm just trying to bring it all back together now.
Yeah.
With
Word.
all that stuff.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
but no, she has books on Instagram. She writes all the time,
That's
like
great.
scenes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, and then
That's rad.
I just have a new book that I just put out I write poetry. I've written poetry for years. Never did anything with it. Never felt comfortable enough.
Mm-hmm.
So at 41, I was like what we talked about before. Like I wanted to document what it all meant.
Yeah.
And first show I went to was Ann Barrett on Hot Water.
Oh, no
shit.
way.
Down in Richmond.
Fuck yeah.
That's cool.
And did both nights. And I think like saw Ann Barrett in 98.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then I got to see
They're great.
Shout out to Robbie Huddleston.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
That's
He helped me.
He's a
kinda
good old
complete
friend of
my,
ours.
Ann Barrett vinyl collection too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Virginia is for lovers.
Yeah. So the book is about all poems, like about that show and what I went through, and basically the experience of that show, kind of like written in poetry. But it's also not like your typical poetry. It's more of like a beatnik style. I have this like real nice cadence to it, and everything has to flow. Nothing rhymes. So yeah, the book is full of like maybe like a little possible song lyric I wrote, or just like a little album review, or just like a thought, and then there's other writings about shows. And I try to just, so it's like a bucket list now. Like
Yeah.
I got Underdog playing here
Yeah.
not that long, in a few weeks. I'm going to go to that, and I try to like go to like see bands that like either I haven't seen in 25 years that are going to play again, or just something like that. And like I still continue to write about it, but yeah, I found a guy to publish the book, and so that's out now.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You'll have to send us a link to that.
Yeah, it's right on my Instagram, and it's called...
Oh, it's on your Instagram? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I just
awesome.
put it up today, but it's called I Once Saw Them in the Back Room of a Pizza Joint.
That's awesome.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's actually like what happened. I have like a brother-in-law, and we were in Denver, Colorado, and we were in a pizza joint in a back room, or like a side room or something, and somebody burnt a pizza, and he freaked out. He thought like we were gonna have to run out of there. There's smoke everywhere, and it was just wild. And we're just sitting there waiting for the Decemberists to go on.
Oh, wow.
And and that was
That's a great story.
And I couldn't fully remember that story until I moved up here, and he lives up in Boston, and we got together with him. I'm like, help me with this memory. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then we pieced it together finally.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
So, but, yeah. So, yeah, this has been a really fun conversation with you two.
Yeah, man, it's a bit meandering. I mean, I think we're a little ADHD. We could start one place and end up in another place and end up in another place.
Orlock played with hot water music.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
On that tour, and we broke into a pool, and we went swimming at night. It was so cool.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, you basically went over your plans for your current projects and just keep making music, and I think that's great. Yeah, keep staying creative. We'll keep reaching out to people. Everything like this continuously. This is
Let's stay in touch.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to meet your wife sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Come anywhere outside of Chicago, let me know.
Right.
Definitely take you up on that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You guys got anything else you want to add, or do we pretty much hit everything?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck ice?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
I don't know if we can say that.
Yeah.
I can't top that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having us. This is great. It's nice to meet you and talk with you and spend some time with you.
Yeah.
And I love everything that you and your wife are doing. It's really great. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for all the kind words. Like,
yeah.
The stuff that we do is so niche, and it's like such small audience stuff, and that's like what's cool about it, right? Mm-hmm. That it's like just small and real. And we know people from all stages of creative endeavors, right? Mm-hmm. With all levels of like success and all levels of participation in it and shit, and like I just wouldn't have it any other way to just like still play little places like Pit Stop and record in basements, and it's real. We love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, everyone. I'm going to be giving some shout outs to some people and their creative endeavors for all of you to check out. Check out IUIO, Orlock, and more at Funeral Recordings on Bandcamp, funeralrecordings.bandcamp.com, and the Landau store on Threadless, landau.threadless.com. And connect with the Waits through Instagram at landau.creative and at orlock.chicago and at withpatience.chicago. I Once Saw Them in the Back Room of a Pizza Joint is a new book by myself, a collection of writings from my inspiration and all these bands I have seen and heard spanning the decades. If you've ever been to a show, then this book is for you. Available wherever books are sold or from the link on my IG page at old.man.elliot. And thank you to Silk Road Books for giving me this opportunity and guidance to get this book out there. So please check out silkroadbooks.com and all they have to offer. Check out Stephanie Elliott's works, The Witch in Yoga Pants, The Girl Who Didn't Go, Horror Stories Compilation Volume 1 and 2, a sci-fi mystery series with Morris and Packard starting with Murder on the Mountain, all available through Amazon.